This is what happened when Ricky Gervais and Wendy Williams, two of the most outspoken people in entertainment, found themselves on a collision course with one of the most protected brands in daytime television history. Both of them have spoken publicly about their experiences with Ellen DeGeneres and with the entertainment industry at large, and with the Epstein files now released, and Wendy's conservatorship battle still unfolding. Those conversations are impossible to ignore anymore. Here is exactly what was said, what was alleged, and what the record actually shows. 5 times between 2010 and 2020, Ricky Gervais walked out onto the Golden Globe stage, and each appearance pushed further than the one before it. The choice he made every single time was deliberate. That room held 200 of the wealthiest, most powerful people in Hollywood, and Ricky performed for none of them. His audience was the 200 million people watching from home, the ones who would never win a Golden Globe, who would never be in that room, and he made no effort to hide that distinction. Beer in hand, dressed like himself, operating like someone who had absolutely nothing to lose. During his 5th and final appearance in 2020, he named Jeffrey Epstein from that stage and drew a line between Epstein and the people sitting right in front of him. The Department of Justice would not release files confirming those connections for another 5 years. But that night, Ricky put it out loud in front of the most powerful audience in the industry. When asked afterward what possessed him to go that far, his answer left no room for interpretation. He told reporters that everything he said that night was true. And the room full of decorated, celebrated, industry-defining people did not laugh. Similar themes ran through his stand-up work as well, including pointed material about the BBC and about predatory behavior in the entertainment world. And he never seemed to operate under any illusion that taking those swings would come without a cost. The cost arrived quickly. After 2020, no invitation to the Golden Globes came, and none has come since. What nobody expected was how clearly the Epstein files, released in early 2025, would validate what Ricky had been saying. Flight logs and emails buried in those documents traced Epstein's connections through major studios and production companies, revealing that in certain cases he had positioned himself as a recruiter, drawing young models and child stars toward his private island in the Caribbean. While Ricky was working from comedy stages and award show podiums, Wendy Williams had spent nearly 2 decades building the same kind of reputation from a daytime television set. The Wendy Williams Show became required viewing, and her Hot Topic segment operated with a specific kind of energy that other hosts simply would not match. Celebrities who had something to hide paid attention when Wendy's show came on, because she treated nothing as off-limits, and had spent years earning the credibility to back that up. Long before any of that, back in 1998 while working at Hot 97, Wendy lost her job following commentary she made about music industry figures, including references to Sean Combs. Almost a decade later, in 2006, speaking with Howard Stern, she revisited that firing without walking a single word of it back. Throughout her career, she kept returning to the same concerns: how certain executives operated, what parents in the industry were allowing to happen to their children, and who was benefiting from staying silent about all of it. When Ellen DeGeneres announced the end of her show, every major celebrity in the industry responded with tributes and warm send-offs. Wendy went a different direction entirely. 19 years on television, she put it plainly, does not change who you are. It exposes you for who you really are. She also stated that she had appeared as a guest on Ellen's show and had not had a good experience there. That guest appearance carried more weight than a simple bad day. Wendy described a moment during the visit that she understood as a warning, delivered in front of a live studio audience in a way that gave everyone watching the option to read it as a joke. Wendy did not read it as a joke. That exchange became part of why she maintained publicly that Ellen carried a darker side the industry had been working to keep covered. The moment that landed hardest on Wendy, though, came in 2017, when Diddy appeared on her show and mentioned, mid-segment, that he had met her 16-year-old son backstage at an event. Commentators and reporters who have reviewed that clip in detail noted that Wendy's entire demeanor shifted the instant her son was mentioned. Not gradually, not subtly, but immediately and visibly. The reading from those observers was that naming her son was not a casual aside. Wendy had been one of the earliest voices in the public space to raise questions about Diddy's conduct and his relationships with young artists, saying it clearly and repeatedly when the professional cost of saying it was real. Beginning in 2022, Wendy's public presence collapsed almost entirely, and the reason given was a court-ordered conservatorship. Her family, including her niece Alex, pushed back hard against the official account of how that arrangement worked. The public statements from those managing the conservatorship described it as an open arrangement where Wendy could come and go freely and where family visits faced no restrictions. What Wendy's family described was something different. Blocked visits, controlled access, and a woman being kept away from the people who knew her best. And then came the medical evaluation that changed the conversation entirely. A new assessment ordered by Wendy's own court-appointed legal team concluded that she does not have frontotemporal dementia, which had been the medical basis cited to justify the conservatorship in the first place. Wendy herself has stated publicly that she feels held against her will, and the people closest to her have pointed to that medical finding as the clearest evidence yet that the arrangement around her was built on something that does not hold up. Across the industry, the fallout from the Epstein files has continued hitting targets. Casey Wasserman, whose talent agency represented thousands of celebrities, athletes, and performers, became one of the most immediate high-profile cases when newly released documents surfaced emails between him and Ghislaine Maxwell. In March of 2003, Wasserman wrote to Maxwell telling her he thought of her constantly and asked what he would need to do to see her in a specific way. Maxwell replied with an explicit offer. Once those messages entered the public record, Wasserman announced the agency was being sold, writing in a note to employees that he had become a distraction to the firm. Chappelle Roan and soccer legend Abby Wambach were among the clients who had already departed before the announcement. Against Diddy, more than 100 lawsuits from alleged victims have now been filed, and the nature of those allegations lines up directly with the concerns Wendy Williams had been raising out loud for years before any of it became mainstream news. Two witnesses who testified in the Epstein and Maxwell case did not live to see the current reckoning. Carolyn Andriano and Lee Sky Patrick both died in separate incidents years apart, with both deaths attributed to overdoses. Carolyn was 14 years old when Epstein recruited her, according to her mother, Dorothy Granitz, who has spoken openly about the trauma her daughter carried for the rest of her life. Carolyn left behind 5 children, and her mother has described being unable to sleep in her own room because of the weight of the memories. Here is where everything stands right now. Ricky Gervais named Epstein from the Golden Globe stage in 2020. The industry shut him out, and the files released 5 years later confirmed what he said. Wendy Williams spent years putting into words what the industry did not want spoken, and the people around her moved to silence her through a conservatorship built on a medical finding that a court-ordered evaluation has now undermined. Whether the pressure both of them faced connects directly to the larger collapse playing out across the entertainment industry right now is a question that investigators, legal teams, and journalists are still working through. What is not in dispute is that both Ricky Gervais and Wendy Williams said things publicly that powerful people did not want said, and both of them paid a price for it. Subscribe and turn notifications on to follow this story as it develops, and drop your thoughts in the comments below.